How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is running its DEALMANIA sale, and I've got a bunch of deals to go over in this video that are super cheap, under the price of $1, under the price of $2 as well. Just a ton of stuff to go over. A lot of these games I've not played myself, but as always, I do like to mention them. And it seems like you guys appreciate whenever I mention the lower key titles, especially when they are this cheap. With that being said, let's get right into it, and let's kick things off with Nexomon Extinction. 90% off for $1.99. Certainly, Nexomon has not had to deal with the whirlwind of drama that Palworld has had to deal with Nintendo and creating a Pokemon-like experience. Now, Nexomon, from an art direction standpoint, really doesn't have a lot of similarities, but it is a return to classic monster catching games, complete with a brand new story, eccentric characters, and over 300 unique Nexomon to trap and tame. The world is on the brink of extinction as mighty tyrant Nexomon fight for dominion over humans and monsters. Join the Tamers Guild and begin an epic journey to restore balance before all hope is lost. Begin your journey, leave the orphanage you grew up in, choose your first Nexomon, and start your life as a tamer. Explore a world teeming with Nexomon, trap and tame 381 Nexomon from 9 elemental types with powerful evolutions. Join the fight, tyrant Nexomon roam free, and the Tamers Guild is stretched to the limit. Can you change the tide of the battle? Battle trainers and tyrants step up and take on would-be challengers and dangerous foes in beautifully animated turn-based battles. Discover diverse regions from arid deserts to freezing tundra, navigate challenging environments, and manage their effects on your Nexomon as well, and immerse yourself in the world of Nexomon for just $1.99. If you're looking for that Pokemon-like style of classic experience, you'll find that here with Nexomon Extinction, and a great price point as well. Next up, a all-time classic. Maybe that's a little bit hyperbole, but Hotline Miami is an awesome game, you guys. 80% off for $1.99. If you want to talk about throwbacks, Hotline Miami is definitely a bit of a throwback with its retro aesthetic, great soundtrack, and over-the-top action gameplay. Can be a little bit gruesome, but it's pixel graphics at the end of the day. How gruesome can that really be? It's a high-octane action game overflowing with raw brutality, hard-boiled gunplay, and skull-crushing close combat set in an alternative 1989 Miami. You will assume the role of a mysterious anti-hero on a murderous rampage against the shady underworld at the behest of voices on your answering machine. Soon you'll find yourself struggling to get a grip of what is going on and why you are prone to these acts of violence. A bit of a throwback for sure, and Hotline Miami at this point is quite an older title, but for $1.99 here, I think it's a great pickup and definitely one I would recommend all of you guys to check out and play. Next up, speaking of throwbacks, Doom 64. Fight against demons in your crusade to hunt down the mother of demons and stop Hell's invasion as you battle through more than 30 action-packed levels. Be on the lookout for enhanced weapons and secrets to help you put an end to the demonic threat. Doom 64, obviously a classic and a game that is beloved by a lot of people, and now you can get it for $1.99. Certainly another game that's an absolute throwback visuals, an enhanced version of the original game released in 1997, I believe it was, on the N64, of course. $1.99 for Doom 64. Next up, we have 9 Monkeys of Shaolin. $1.99 on this. We actually covered this game in its entirety in a separate video where I look at some of these cheaper games, play them myself, and give you guys my input. 9 Monkeys of Shaolin is an enjoyable action beat-em-up, a great aesthetic style, a great setting. On top of that, the game starts off fairly simplistic, but then you realize there's quite a lot of depth to the combat and whatnot. Not a super lengthy game, but one that I think you can have some fun with if you're into action beat-em-ups for $1.99. Certainly not a bad price point, and one that, again, if you like your beat-em-ups, you'll probably have a good time with that one. Next up, we have Redeemer in Enhanced Edition, just $1.49 for that. An explosive top-down action shooter in which you fight your way through hordes of opponents in a variety of different ways, whether by sneaking, punching, or sabotaging. Your creativity is given free rein when deciding how to obliterate your opponents. You are Vasily, an elite agent who previously worked for the largest cybernetics weapons manufacturer in the world. At some point, the company turned against him, and it was only with a great deal of luck that he was able to escape to a remote monastery deep in the mountains. For 20 years, he sought to find peace and harmony with the monks, but now the company has found him and given him the opportunity to settle old debts. Whether it's fists, hammers, or firearms in Vasily's hands, they're bad news for his opponents. Play alone or in local co-op mode by turning your living room into an arena. Redeemer Enhanced Edition, 90% off for $1.49. Next up, we got This War of Mine, the Little Ones, 90% off for $1.99. This is a game that I constantly rave about, I constantly give attention to because it absolutely does it. Done by 11-Bit Studios, who also did Frostpunk, and if you played Frostpunk, like, Frostpunk and This War of Mine, and they also obviously did Frostpunk 2, They are games that are incredibly grim, dark, and I don't know what superlative you want to add on there. It's just interesting that 11-bit studios, they're like, what kind of games can we make? We'll make games that are filled with emotional dread. They do a phenomenal job with that, and This War of Mine is an incredibly compelling game where, yes, it's a war-based story, but it also tackles the harsh realities of war. You don't play as an overpowered soldier or anything like that. You realize that survival is the name of the game when it comes to war a lot of the times, and This War of Mine does a very good job of illustrating that and tugging at the emotional aspect of it as well. A realistic and engaging experience inspired by real-life events make unforgiving and emotionally repercussive life or death decisions, craft items such as weaponry, beds, stoves, toys, and more, tackle randomized or predefined scenarios, experience war through the eyes of a child with the introduction of child survivors, and features an additional large mansion shelter for the daytime phase exclusive to PS4. You get all of that in This War of Mine, the little ones, for just $1.99. Definitely a good pickup. And it's not going to be a game for everyone. Look, the last thing I feel like if you have a long day at work, you want to come home and just feel like absolute dread takes over you with This War of Mine. But if you're interested in an experience like that, I think you'll have a great time with it. $1.99 for that. Speaking of dread, Agony is 90% off for $1.99. Now, to be fair, this game hasn't received the best, let's be honest here, but as a horror game, it was quite hotly anticipated, and I feel like horror game fans should give this game a shot. It's a first-person survival horror set in the depths of hell. You will begin your journey as a tormented soul, remembering nothing from your past life. By exploring the hostile environment and interacting with other tormented souls, you will soon understand that the only way to escape from hell is through the mystical red goddesses. The special ability to control people on your path and even possess simple-minded demons gives you the necessary measures to survive in extreme conditions. You've got story mode, play through the immersive story to uncover your past, and then agony mode, survive the extreme conditions you are put in to test your ability with increased level of difficulty. $1.99 for Agony. Also $1.99, Agents of Mayhem, another game that isn't received the best, but you know what? If you want nonsensical open-world action, I really do feel like Agents of Mayhem is a decent option. I often say when talking about games, you know, wait for this game to get Agents of Mayhem price threshold, and I compare a lot of games to Agents of Mayhem because I feel like Agents of Mayhem is a good barometer for games that you can have fun with, but they're just nonsensical and totally not worth like $60 or $50. But when they get so cheap, it's more of a time investment rather like, bro, it's $2. How you guys buy so much nonsensical stuff for $2 in your day-to-day life? But you know, also Agents of Mayhem is a great game to play if you want to listen to a podcast. I'm trying to get that aspect of gaming over because I know so many people are all about that now. Whether you're watching, you know, a couple of my videos, we upload a lot of content and you're hearing my dumb takes, but you want to play a video game at the same time, or you're listening to a lengthy podcast, like I feel like there are games that fit that criteria. I ain't gonna be playing no Final Fantasy VII Rebirth while I'm listening to a podcast because I want to be immersed into that game, but Agents of Mayhem to do some nonsensical stuff in an open world. Suicide Squad, I feel like fits that criteria as well. At least we're finding some use out of these games, and you know what, Forza Horizon I think is gonna be great. You know, a little bit at a higher level is Forza Horizon than Agents of Mayhem and Suicide Squad, but still, I feel like it fits that criteria pretty well. Nevertheless, Agents of Mayhem, open world chaos, $1.99 on that. Next up, the Technomancer, $1.99 on this. This was done by Spiders, the same studio that brought you Greedfall. They also did a couple of other games. They're doing Greedfall too. I believe that's in early access right now. But Technomancer takes you to Mars where you live as a mage warrior. You're capable of harnessing destructive electrical powers amplified by cybernetic implants, feared and respected by all. You're on the verge of completing your initiation rite to become a fully fledged Technomancer. It's an action RPG offering 4 different combat skill trees focusing on 3 distinct fighting styles as well as the potent electrical powers. Of course, brute strength is not suited to for every situation. Dynamic conversations play a major part as well. $1.99 for Technomancer. Next up, we got Beat Cop, $1.49 on this. A non-linear story with multiple endings. Someone framed you and no one cares about this but you. Turn every stone in the city and find out who did that. The further you investigate, the more missing puzzles you'll find, but be careful. Some things should never be brought to daylight. The essence of 80s cop shows. Have you ever dreamed of being one of the heroes of cop movies? Of course you did, like we all. Now you have a chance. Stay vigilant and quick-witted, but remember that if this won't work, you can always do some old school jaw-wrecking. It's the 80s after all. The humor that your mom wouldn't approve either. Beat Cop is available for $1.49. So check that out. Next up, we have the shoot 'em up Natsuki Chronicles. $1.99 on this, 99 cents if you are a Plus subscriber. Natsuki Chronicles features an immersive story that runs parallel to the events of Ginga Force. Follow the story of the protagonist and expert pilot Natsuki and discover the story of her past as a rookie pilot as it leads up to present-day events. It features a story mode that alternates between past and present over 10 stages. Just like with its predecessor, players can once again choose from a huge selection of customization options within its shoot 'em up gameplay. Natsuki Chronicles, again, $1.99, 99 cents if you are a Plus subscriber. Next up, we have Livelock. Livelock is a cooperative top-down shooter where you play solo or with up to 2 allies to break the cycle of infinite war between machines as one of the remaining capital intellects. Your role is to unlock Eden and revive humanity. The game notes intelligent action, overcome chaotic skirmishes, where complete mastery of your arsenal and understanding of enemy behaviors is the key to survival. Combine forces and coordinate with friends to take advantage of class strength. Each chassis has a distinct personality and arsenal to match. In infinite war, explore the post-cataclysmic world and attempt to revive humanity in story mode or fight through dynamically generated waves of enemies in survival mode. Livelock is available for 99 cents. Next up, we have Downwell. 99 cents on this. Downwell is an incredibly well-received game. 7,400 Steam reviews as a comparison point. 96% positive on PlayStation. It's got 5.9K ratings, 4.21 reception, 4.21 stars, I should say. Downwell is a curious game about a young person venturing down a well in search of untold treasures with only his gun boots for protection. Make your way further and further down into the darkness filled with nasty creatures and mysterious secrets to collect the spectacular red gems scattered about the rocks. Downwell is available for just 99 cents. Next up, another throwback shmup here, Super Destronaut DX. 49 cents on this, inspired by an arcade classic. Super Destronaut DX is a retro space shooter that pits you against an enemy more dreaded than a UFO, a scoreboard with multiple modes and high scores that can be attained by yourself and players all over the globe. This is a game that'll put you on the path of achieving a score as high as you can possibly muster. You've got 30 different challenges to complete, 3 modes in the form of classic, time attack, and hardcore, 2-player multiplayer, various weapon types, and online leaderboards as well. Super Destronaut DX is available for 49 cents. Next up, we have a shoe. That is 99 cents for the base price, 49 cents if you're a Plus subscriber. You've got 21 lush, expansive levels set in 6 diverse lands, a plethora of collectibles and secrets to discover, 10 recruitable characters, each with their own unique power, an incredible original soundtrack as well. Shoe is available for 99 cents, again, 49 cents if you are a Plus subscriber. And that is going to do it for me. Again, a lot of super cheap game deals available right now. As always, links to all of these will be in the description box below. Check them out for yourself, and if you got a couple bucks to spare, you know, go check out some of these titles. That'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, thanks for watching. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.